Albert Pujols steps into the box. It's his second plate appearance of the night, and the 13,016th of his career. The fans at Dodger Stadium rise to their feet. They know what they have the potential to witness. The Apple TV broadcast gives him a 7% chance to end this at-bat with a home run. Now, this number virtually means nothing. I'm pretty sure they pulled it out of a hat, but even if their methodology was sound, probability is a fickle creature. When Albert Pujols singled off Garrett Cole to close his 2019 season, the Bill James Career Assessment Tool gave him roughly a 24% chance to reach this coveted milestone that he currently stands on the 1-yard line from: 700 career home runs. Back then, he was 93% of the way there, and still only had roughly a 1 in 4 shot to enter one of the most exclusive clubs in sports. Sports teams, especially with baseball, suffer a continuity problem. Now, it's a necessary issue because unless you're a psychopath, you prefer for players to work their way into getting to choose which teams they play for, as opposed to being under the hell that was the reserve clause. Because of this, your favorite players come and go. Even the most untouchable of franchise icons can eventually drape the colors of another team. Albert, considered a face of the Cardinals franchise alongside Stan Musial and Ozzie Smith, shocked the baseball world when he signed a 10-year contract with the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, all but guaranteeing the machine retires in another uniform. It was a long journey to get back here, one that saw Albert become the scapegoat for a struggling Angels franchise that didn't win a single playoff game during his tenure there, a tenure that unceremoniously ended with the Angels releasing Albert in the last year of his contract. One revitalized stint with the Dodgers later, and Albert finds himself back in a Cardinals uniform. When the signing was announced on March 28, 2022, it was met with mild praise. Many saw it as a legacy move for a franchise that wisely understands its role in the cherished history of the game. This is a team that will use a roster spot to secure their franchise icon an opportunity to end his career on his terms. While the possibility of 700 was in the air, it didn't seem to concern Albert or the Cardinals all that much. Albert would be seen as a mentor to the next Cardinals crop of great players, while occasionally getting starting DH opportunities against lefties. The Dodgers already did the experimenting to discover that the aging Albert could still be a productive major leaguer by producing a few good swings against lefties. All the Cardinals had to do was use the blueprints and reap the benefits. He wouldn't be exceptional, but considering the immeasurable impact he's had with the franchise, it would be a small price to pay for a storybook ending, and swing against lefties he did. Albert wasn't putting up great numbers, but wasn't playing poorly enough to justify the unthinkable. But then something funny happened.
Participant in the Derby, he passes Bonds in 04, who was 39 years old. One thing about Albert, man, batting practice, he can hit home runs.
He just thought, guys, that's worse.
Here we go, Albert starting to get on a run.
First and third and 2 outs. Albert lifts it in the air out to center. Albert into deep left center. Oh my goodness! Way out of here! Albert again, left center. Albert unloads deep left, and this game is tied. 698. Albert Pujols.
Which brings us to this moment.
Pujols sends one in the air. It's deep to left. Taylor's back at the wall. It's 700.
"18 days later, and 1,400 miles away, Aaron Judge leads off against Jesus Tinoco in Globe Life Field for Game 2 of a doubleheader. A doubleheader which was the result of a lockout that nearly dovetailed the sport in a bitter cold war between the owners and players. Fortunately, both sides came to their senses and an agreement in the 11th hour to avoid what could have been a disastrous blunder for the game. While the players and owners were able to agree on terms to return to play, one team, and player in particular, were unable to see eye to eye on another set of terms. Aaron Judge, in the final year of his rookie contract, turned down a 7-year, $213.5 million contract extension, opting to instead bet on himself. Now, despite what advocacy groups will tell you, sometimes bets do pay off. Judge's bet has led us here, where he is one swing away from putting Roger Maris in second place for the all-time AL home run crown. In his pursuit of self-assuredness, Aaron Judge blew past expectations, which paradoxically is to be expected for someone of his pedigree. He burst onto the scene in 2017 by setting the home run record for a rookie, still holding the AL edition of that record to this day. Despite the potential, injuries shrouded it for the next 3 years, one being the result of an unfortunately placed pitch, the other two being complications that arise from being a 6'7" Goliath. But in 2021, Judge reminded us what he can do in a healthy year. The Yankees saw what they saw, weighing the sheer talent against the risk for long-term injury. They offered what they believed was fair, but Judge disagreed.
I don't know about a level. You're disappointed.
To put up an all-time year is one thing, but to do it in a contract year will facilitate one of the greatest bidding wars we will see in a long time. Here are the top 25 offensive seasons since 1972, and here are all the ones that happened in a contract year. Yeah.
Seats are jammed. People looking to grab that home run number 62. There's a strike, 1-1.
Over the ensuing weeks in Judge's pursuit of the AL record, arguments started to rise from wannabe Galaxy Brain dissenters and Roger Maris Jr., positing that Judge would hold the real and clean record. Look, Bonds is the single-season record holder for all of MLB, no matter how much evidence you've piled to the contrary. Like it or not, he physically hit 73 homers in 2001, and no amount of retroactive speculation on what he was eating for breakfast every morning will change that. But there is something that will forever make Judge's feat that much more impressive. When Bonds laid waste to the 73rd baseball of the 2001 season, his runner-up, Sammy Sosa, was 9 behind with 64. 3 years earlier, when Mark McGwire finished obliterating Roger Maris's record, the runner-up, still Slammin' Sammy, was 4 behind. When Roger Maris infamously squeaked past Ruth's record in a Game 163 that wouldn't even have existed the year prior, teammate Mickey Mantle was hot on his tail with 54 of his own. And even when Babe Ruth torched his own record in 1927, well, teammate Lou Gehrig was half a lap away from him. If Aaron Judge is able to get one more home run swing before season end, he would sit 16 long balls ahead of runner-up Kyle Schwarber. Hell, he leads AL runner-up Mike Trout by 22. You have to go all the way back to Ruth's era-defining 1919 season as the last time such a gap existed between record holder and that season's runner-up. So before any contrarian on either side tries to tell you why this record means nothing, or why it is the record, just tell them that context matters, even if it can't be easily printed on a t-shirt. With all that, you know what's coming next.
High fly ball, deep left.
We may never see this again. When people ask how I, an absolute weirdo, can enjoy such a normie activity such as watching baseball, I give them the same answer. Sports are the only form of entertainment where emotional resonance happens in real time. You'll never be able to peer into a band writing and recording your favorite music, or be able to witness firsthand your favorite films being rehearsed and shot unless you want to become an audio engineer or production assistant or something. All of these mediums are meticulously crafted to give that emotional catharsis you get when consuming them. The story has been told, and it's just a matter of when you want to experience it. Baseball's narrative is being told and will continue to unfold under non-determinate circumstances. None of us knew entering this year that Judge would put up a historic season after publicly turning down a contract extension. We didn't know that Albert Pujols would put up his highest home run rate since his last MVP campaign to break down the door to the 700 club with his former team. This is what makes baseball special. There's a thin line between chaos and order that results in the impossible becoming possible from time to time. And it's at-bats like these two out of thousands that happen each and every year, that keep us coming back.